there, my name is Kelly Dale with Off the Beaded Path, and this is your Must Know Monday for Monday, October 15th, 2018. A few weeks ago, I got a surprise package in the mail from Darlene Fall of lakesidejewelry.etsy.com. And it was a neat new bead tray that she calls the No More Oops bead tray. Basically, this tray has 9 compartments to keep your beads separated as you work. So it's really, really good, especially if you're doing something like maybe brick stitch or peyote stitch, where you're going to be using a lot of colors of a lot of small beads. Each of the compartments is labeled A through I, so you don't even have to worry about keeping little pieces of paper or anything like that, because your little tray is actually already done and taken care of for you. And the cool thing is, I'm going to show you this product today, but Darlene has actually gave me a coupon code that you guys can use if you decide to purchase one of these from her website. So if you want to get free shipping for this bead tray, you can type in the word Kelly, Kelly, tray, Tray, in the comment box in her website, which again was lakesidejewelry.etsy.com, and you'll get free shipping. So hey, you can't beat that, especially with the cost of postage today. So to show you this brand new board that Darlene has came up with, I'm going to show you one complete brand new design that I've came up with, and then I'm going to show you a second color scheme for that as well. And as an extra bonus for you, I'm going to be showing you a Christmas themed bracelet today. Today is October 15th, and Christmas is going to be here before you know it. So the cool thing about my project today, if you want the Christmas colors like I'm going to show, you can download this pattern for free on my website starting today. I'm going to have a full bracelet pattern and the shorter version that I'm going to be showing you. The other color version that I'm going to be showing you will be for sale under the pattern section of our website, and we will have kits for both projects that will have all the beads that you need to complete the project. So the project I'm actually going to work on today is going to be using 5 colors of a size 11 delica. I'm going to be using a DB200, which is an opaque white, a DB605, which is a silver lined green, DB1832, which is a galvanized gold, DB602, which is a silver lined red, and DB1831, which is a galvanized silver. Now, it is really, really important for me to let you know this project is odd count peyote stitch. I have done several projects back in December of 2017 where I showed how to do odd count peyote stitch. I showed some earrings and I showed a full bracelet. So what I'm going to do today is I'm actually going to show you the full version, but I'm going to actually make the shorter version so I can show you also how to use a new finding that we've had in the store that people are always like, hey, what do you do with that? How do you use it? So I guess let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start out with a size, you can use a size 10 or 12 beading needle. I'm going to use 1G thread. You can use a 6-pound wire line, but I do not suggest going above that for this project. So let's go ahead and get our stuff together and we'll get started. So here is the bracelet, the full version of the bracelet that I have completed. I'm going to be showing you the shorter version, which is basically just these center diamond sections here. This bracelet sample has 5 colors in the Christmas color scheme. And then I've done another color scheme. This one's pretty cool because you could actually wear this in all year long, really, because it's got some mustard color in it, which can be good for the fall or the spring. So again, the pattern for this one has 5 colors, and this one will be free on our website. This one actually has 6 colors to it, and it will be under the bracelet patterns on our website. Now, here is the tray that Darlene has invented, the No More Oops bead tray. And you can see her information here, her website and her email address. Any questions you have about this tray, you are more than welcome to contact Darlene, and she will be happy to answer any question that you have about it. You can see it has the 9 different compartments here, and it's lettered A through I, just like I told you. They're actually printed on an adhesive that is on the board. Now, if you wanted to, I'm sure you could go back and darken these up a little bit, but they're actually pretty dark. I don't think the video actually shows it as dark as it actually is, but they are pretty dark. And you can see I already have my beads laid out exactly like they're going to be in my pattern. A is going to be my DB200. B is going to be the 605, C is the 1832, D is going to be the 602, and E was the 1831. Now you can see that this lays out on my bead board. This is a bead tray that I got from the Bead Wrangler, which can be found on Etsy, and we will link to her below the video. But this is my tray. It's one of the smaller trays, and you can see that it fits perfectly in the tray. So I can still work off of my tray, my smaller tray, and have this above me. And it's really good because even if I bump it really hard, you can see that those beads are not going to get mixed in together. So that is the beauty of this little tray. The other thing is it's really easy to pick up your beads just like you were if you were working on a regular bead mat. So that is the really, really cool thing about the tray. So one more time, just let me pop the little info here for Darlene's Etsy site and her email address. And then I'm going to write on here so that you can actually see. I'll write it here. Kelly Tray, T-R-A-Y. Again, that is the coupon code that you'll want to use on Darlene's website, her Etsy site, to get the free shipping for this product. Now, on the actual pattern, the free pattern, I have gone ahead and actually marked the first row that you would want to start with. This row here, unless you want to start and have to do increases up to this row, you can start on the line that I actually have highlighted, and then once you've done that, then I have, oh yeah, double paged. Okay, so then once you do the first row, you will start here at row 7 on the pattern and continue on to the end. Then it's just a matter of going back and adding these rows once you finish. So I'm actually going to show you the shorter version, like I said today. And just like with the bracelet, the shorter version, I do have labeled on here exactly the beads that you're going to work with and how you're going to get started. So your line here that's highlighted in yellow is the beads that I would actually pick up to get started. And then I will actually mark and show you which line that you will continue on with as we start to go through the video. So I'm going to clean off my tray and we'll get started. All right, so to get started with the shorter version of the bracelet, I'm going to be picking up an A, 2B, 3D, 2B, and an A. So I already have that picked up here on my tray. Again, that was an A, 2B, 3D, 2B, and an A. Now, from that little set that I just showed you on here, we are going to jump to the word chart, and we will be starting on row 7. On your word chart, you'll see there's a number in the parentheses. The number is the amount of beads you're going to pick up. The letter is the letter number that is going to coordinate with your word charts. Okay, so I'm going to pick up 1B, 1D, 1A, 1D, and 1 bead. Now you'll notice on row 7, if you count those beads, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 beads. On row 8, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Row 9 will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And row 10 will have 1, 2, 3, 4. So every other row you're going to be picking up 5 beads, and then every other row you're going to be picking up 4 beads. So that's really important to kind of wrap your head around as we work this odd count peyote. So we are going to get started here. I'm going to drop this down. For the shorter version, I would probably suggest to leave about 10 inches. Okay, so I'm going to leave a 10-inch tail, and I'm just going to wrap it around my finger right now. For the full bracelet, I would probably do 16 inches. I'm going to pick up a bead, and just like working regular peyote stitch, we are going to pick up one and skip one. So I've got my bead. I'm going to skip the last bead I added and go through the next bead, which is going to be actually a B. And I'm going to hold that white because I want to make sure that that white bead stays on the bottom and my green bead goes to the top. Okay, and if it doesn't, you want to flip it to make sure it does that. Okay, let me drop my beads back down here. Okay, the next one is D. So I'm going to pick up a D. I'm going to skip a green and then go through the next bead, which is going to be a red. And again, I'm holding this in place. I'm going to pull because I need to make sure that I keep my beads lined up exactly how they need to be. The next one is an A, so I'm going to pick up an A. I'm going to skip one bead and go through the next one. So I'm going to skip a red and go through the next red. Pull this on through. Okay, so this is what we have so far. Then I'm going to pick up a D. I'm going to skip a bead, which is going to be a green, and then go through the next green. And pull that through. So before you even add the last bead, make sure that your beads are lined up exactly like they should be. So now comes the odd count part. So I've got my tail thread here and I've got it wrapped around my finger. The last bead for my row is a B. So I'm going to lift up on this tail just enough to where I can get my needle under there, and then I'm going to tighten that tail back up. I'm going to pull the thread until my bead is here. Now do not let this bead go under that thread. And at that point, I'm going to take the needle and I'm going to come back through the bead that I just added one more time, and I'm going to pull that tight so that that is complete. So the next row says that I'm going to pick up a D, 2A, and a D. So I've got the D here, and I'm going to work back down this direction, and I'm going to come right through the next bead that's sticking up, which is going to be a red bead for me. Okay, so a D, 2A, so I'm going to pick up 1A, and I'm going to go through the next one, 1A. I'll go through the next bead sticking up here, which is going to be a red. And then the final bead for that row is a D. So I'm picking up the D and I'm going through the last bead sticking up for that row. And you can see here, if I turn it like this, you can see that we picked up 1, 2, 3, 4 beads. So this row, you can see I've got open holes here. So I'm going to be picking up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 beads on this row. So this is row 9. It says I'm going to start with a B. So I'm going to pick up a B and I'm going back up this direction. So I've got my B here and I'm going to go right through the first bead sticking up as I'm going up the row. So I'm going to pull that just like that. Next one is a D, which is going to be my red. So I'm No, did I pick that up right? Yeah, a D. So I've got my D and I'm going through the white. Then an A. And I'm going to go through the next bead sticking up here. Then a D. Go through the last bead that's sticking up, and then I still have one more bead that I have to add, and that's going to be a B, which is here. And again, this is where I'm going to snuggle under this little tail thread here. I'm going to pull it through, making sure that I don't go under, that this bead does not go under that thread. And then I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to come back through that bead one more time so that it will pop into place. And now I have the next row for my piece. And you can see right here, I'm glad I caught that. You can see right there, I got a thread caught. So all I have to do there is just pull that thread up and now pull it tight. It's better that if you can go ahead and catch that now rather than seeing it at the end. That'd make you cry, I'm sure. So now that's fixed and I can continue working my rows. So at this point in the process, you are going to want to continue to work and add your rows just like you would normally until you get all the way to the end. Once you get to the end, I'm going to show you how to actually make your little loops to attach to what we want to attach it to. If, like I said, you don't know how to do the odd count or I went a little too quickly for you, please refer back to what's going to be linked below to our 2 previous odd count videos from December of 2017. So I'm going to go ahead and work on mine, you work on yours, and we'll be right back. Once you get the strip done and you've done your decrease for one side, you are ready to actually start the next process. So these are some findings that we received into the store a few months ago, and people honestly had no clue what to do with them. And I kept telling them, you know, just attach your beadwork to these little loops here on the end, and then you'll have a cool bracelet. And they could not totally grasp it. So this is a finished one here. You can see that this is the other color scheme that I showed you earlier. And I've attached it. So what happens is when you put it on, this is a silicone slider that you can slide up to make your bracelet smaller or bigger depending upon what you need. These come in the silver or the platinum color, what they call. They come in gold and they come in the rose gold. So since I have so much of the galvanized gold in this, I'm going to go ahead and use the gold ending for this specific bracelet. So I pulled out some of my size 15 seed beads in the white, and I'm coming out of the very last size 11 here on the very end. I'm going to pick up 3 of those beads, and then I want to check my little loop here. On each side, there is a loop that is actually open. These loops open and close. So you want to make sure that your ring is completely closed. Otherwise, your thread will slip through. So just make sure that those little rings are completely closed. So I've got my 3. Then I'm going to thread on one end loop. And then I'm going to thread on 3 more 15s. I'm going to come back through this same 11 here on the end that I started with so that it will complete a circle. And when I pull, and I pull that nice and tight, now my link will be permanently attached to the beadwork itself. So at this point, you just want to go through and you want to reinforce this loop several times. I basically go back through the loop as many times as I can get my thread back through it, just so that it will reinforce this really, really well. So you got to remember each time just to be sure and come back through that 11, pull it tight, just like that, and then just continue to add and reinforce again. And once you've done the reinforcement on this side, then you're ready to tie these 2 threads off or stitch them off and finish the other end off, just like I'm finishing this end, so that you will have the finished product. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to reinforce this and finish off the other end so you can see what the completed piece would look like. So once you get the other side of the bracelet completed and attached, this is what your short version of the bracelet would look like. Now, I know that there are already some of you who are like, that doesn't look the same. No, it doesn't. And the reason being is because I did not change out my colors from doing the bracelet. I left them in the same exact order, and so it looks a little bit different, as you can see. If you do it correctly, then you're good to go. But this is the full Christmas style bracelet, and this is the shorter version. Again, these two are free as far as the patterns on my website. And then I have this version that has 6 colors along with the shorter version, which looks like this one, again, available on my website. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please go to lakesidejewelry.etsy.com and support Darlene with her trays. Remember to use the coupon code KELLYTRAY, T-R-A-Y, to get your free shipping on your little assorted bead tray. Also, don't forget, on my website, offthebeadedpathbeadstore.com, you can go under the free patterns to get the free pattern for this Christmas bracelet. When you download the pattern, I will have the long version and the shorter version available on the website. You can also go under the regular bracelet patterns, and I will have the 6 color one along with the shorter version available on there to purchase. We will also have color kits available where we'll have all the beads you need, so you don't have to worry about purchasing full tubes. So that's awesome as well. So thank you so much for watching, and be sure to come back on Thursday because I have a fantastic thing that I get to do, and I cannot wait to show you guys. So be sure to come back on Thursday, October I think that's the 18th. So I hope you guys have a great day. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.